Welcome back to San Francisco. It's the Olympic Club. Dave Vincent alongside Martin Mulkerns for the Dave Fink Paul Brady match. This is a semifinal. Winner goes to the final. Now, this is kind of a familiar thing for Paul Brady. Somewhat familiar for Dave Fink, but not here on the Race for 8 Tour. He hasn't been to a final yet. But facing Paul Brady is such a difficult task, not only physically and what he can do to your body, but you know, he has a very heavy ball, Martin, and I know that you're a hard hitter yourself, but when you play a guy like Paul and he hits the ball this hard, what do you feel like after the match is over?
Well, I've only got to play Paul once ever in a tournament situation. You know, it's not that easy to get games with him either because I don't know who he trains with back home, but I remember the U.S. Nationals in Iowa in 2013. He's you know, it's just, I feel like it's a different pace. You know, loads of guys hit it hard. You know, Luis hits it hard, Alan Garner hits it hard. But it's just like you've no time on the ball. You just feel like you can't set your feet at all. You know, even when it's coming off the back wall, it's coming so fast and so hard. You know, most people love the back wall. It's like a setup usually, but it's coming so fast that you don't even have time to let it drop. It's like at your chest. You know, where usually you'd be able to let it drop a bit lower, but
you know, sometimes when there's a person serving and they drive a serve that goes to the back wall really fast and jumps all the way back to the short line.
Yeah.
I feel like if Paul learned how to do that serve, nobody would be able to catch
work.
up. Yeah, you know, it would work, right?
Only for him, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking if I ever played Paul, this is what he would do to get 21 straight points against me. I just don't think I can get out of the block fast enough. I mean, it's almost that he's that good, you know, forward to the front wall, to the back wall, and then forward again. It seems like even then I wouldn't be able to catch up to it. It's the pace of somebody that hits a routine ball off the back wall, and it's so fast that your timing has never seen it before. So you have to try to. Could you give me 3 or 4 of these in a row so I can kind of figure out how to hit them?
Yeah, and what happens then really, what I found is, you know, when you don't get to play them that much, which most guys don't get to play them that often. So
receiving serve.
The first game's over nearly before you still haven't adjusted to the pace.
Yeah, amazing. You hear the announcement from our referee, Marco Chavez.
Games to 15, 3 timeouts, 1 30-second timeout.
And this is Paul Brady, the gunner from
0
Ireland.
serve 0.
That's a good camera, even though you see it in the corner of your eye. And
I know, it's tough.
But it's a great angle.
The angle looks amazing.
Yeah, that's class there now.
Short ball.
You can see the whole court from there.
He's going to
This is
appeal that.
Ball.
one of the only times, if
Second
you actually
serve.
only had one camera angle to watch, I think this one captures everything.
Yeah. This is the one above the door.
I love this.
That's a point.
There's a point. Paul Brady finds a way to handcuff you, even though he hits 5 walls before he gets to you.
1 serves
I don't know
1.
how he does that.
1 serves 0. Sorry.
Referee just said 5 serves 1 on the first point of the game.
Side out.
You know, Dave seems to be playing quite well all weekend, though.
0 serves 1.
You know, I suppose the only thing he can go in here and has nothing to lose. You know, he's kind of obviously the underdog. Everyone's expecting Paul to win. You know, hopefully he can give him a good game, go for his shots.
1 serves 0.
And play well. He said he's been feeling good, so hopefully he can play his best and do well. See there, that's one of them now. Oh, bad bounce, maybe no.
Side out.
Dave Fink looks so good against
0
Mondo
serves 1.
Ortiz earlier today.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the scoreline.
That was the way Dave played 3 or 4 or 5
Side
years
out.
ago. You have to remember there was a pro stop in New York where Dave defeated Dave
1
Chapman
serves
and
0.
Sean Lenning to win that.
I didn't actually know that.
To win that stop.
And
then the stop right afterwards, he made it to the finals in Detroit at one of the USHA Championship Series. I think it was the
2
last
serves
pro stop
0.
USHA had, and lost to Dave Chapman in the finals.
Short ball.
But just a few weeks earlier, defeated Dave and Sean
Second
to win
serve.
the NYAC
Well, there's
Classic. So I
you
mean, he's got that in him.
You couldn't complain if you beat them 2 to win a championship. You know, you definitely haven't went the easy route. Set up here, good kill.
Side out.
Dave looked really good there.
Yeah, but it's here now.
0
You know,
serves 2.
the serve is key. It's good serve. Let's see.
That's so frustrating.
Oh, rare skip in. Yeah.
That's not as frustrating as I said it would be there. That was a good result.
One
But
serves
you can't live off that because Paul's not going to do that very often.
I saw Sean. I know it didn't go as well as probably Sean would have hoped. You know, well, Paul seemed to be just playing brilliantly.
Point.
But he was serving down the right as well, and you know, I see Dave trying it there as well.
2 serves 2.
These courts are so fast though as well. If you hit a roof shot at all, you know, you have to hit it so far back on the roof, and it'll probably still make the back wall.
Might clip a wall, doesn't do it. Paul's dangerous from there, down the middle. Dave flips it back to the left. Paul back to the middle. Dave sees that hop, plays with it. Paul flips it back. And I like how Paul goes over the top of that ball to keep it down at that last shot. He could have overhit that ball like so many other players do, but he went over the top, kept it down, took a little off. Ball stayed up front. Dave can't get to it.
You know, Dave's probably happy though at this stage, because you know, when you go in there, the last thing you want is to be 7-0 down at the start and be like, game's over, you know, pretty much first game gone. You know, he's here, he's 2-2 now, you know, at least he's still in the game.
One
you know.
agree, one disagree. Second serve.
Be a good start. I'd be happy if I was him at this stage now.
Look at that shot. That's an offhand
Point.
fadeaway from Paul Brady. I feel that there is some change to
3
Paul's
serves
game
2.
over the last 5 years, maybe the last 3 years, where he went back to the sports lab and decided that he was going to work on a serve and also work on, you know, not being so much a machine, doing some of the Sean Lenning underhand punch fist shots and the things that some of you guys have kind of redeveloped on the Pro Tour. Paul's not known for making anything other than just, you know, consistent shots, but now you see him doing a lot of different things. Athletic, running up a wall, going behind his back. You know, he's got a lot of different little tricks he now has.
4 serves 2.
Is that just him a little older and he's trying to make the most of his body because he can't get that first step as fast as he was when he was younger, and now he's having to be creative? Or is he just saying, you know, this is a level of my game I don't have, I'm going to do it?
I'm not sure. Like I heard him speak there at they had an awards night for him in his home county there lately in the last week or two, and he spoke at it, and he said I heard him say that he feels as fit as ever. You know, he said he doesn't feel any less fit or less strong than he did 10 years ago. A bit of arguing going on here. I thought myself there was a bit of a screen there, but you know, when you know, if he had killed the ball dead flat, you know, he'd be happy with it. But
I thought you wanted. I thought.
Yeah, Marcos, the referee's saying he thought he wanted it as well.
Well, you should have held up.
Maybe we'll see.
Where's the
here
avoidable
now. Here now.
Oh wow, that's tough. Paul comes completely in front of Dave there, screening across left to right. Now, what do you think about it?
5
you know,
serves 2.
I don't think he'd complain though if that kill had just rolled flat. You know, I know the ref. It was tough though.
But he wasn't going for a kill. I mean,
he was just hitting it.
Put his hand out to show that he can get to it. But the referee, if you don't go for it, the ref says, "Well, why didn't you go for it?" And there's a laser from Paul Brady, and he hits the camera.
It's kind of a gray. It's kind of a gray area. Do you stick out your hand and kind of show that I hit it, and then the referee's like, "Oh well, I gave you the shot then," or do you just not hit it all, and then the referee turns around to you, "Oh well, I thought you could have hit it."
Yeah,
that's one of those shots you're talking about there, kind of where he'd usually probably put it around.
Right. Do something defensive in a good way, not just throw it back to Paul for a re-kill. 7 to 2 here.
Yeah, I'm surprised Dave hasn't taken maybe one of his timeouts. You know, it's only to 15, and it was 2-2. Paul's got the last 5. Will he take one here?
It's a point.
No, that's 6 in a row for Paul.
8 serves 2.
Dave really doesn't like to take timeouts.
Is that just he likes to stay in the court and kind of keep going, or because it's, you know, it's 7 in a row now? Maybe a little break in momentum would be a good idea. But I know other players who, like you said, now don't like to take timeouts. They kind of like to keep going, and
I can see it both ways. I mean, you've been on the court before. You say, "I feel so good right now. I'm just not scoring points." I mean, I don't want to leave. This is a great feeling. I have kind of a runner's high, but then you know, you have to look above that and say, "I need to break the momentum." It's not about how I feel. It's about just getting them out of how they feel. They're obviously feeling better than me. They're scoring points. Here, side out, 2 to 9.
Yeah, so it's key now for Dave, you know, to
2 serves 9.
To really, if he doesn't get a few points here, I feel this game could be gone from him. You know, that's kind of one of those there. What happened, you know, it wasn't nothing special of a shot, but it was just coming so hard, handcuffed, and the next one's the kill.
9 serves 2.
9-2. Great serve down the right. That's
10-2. Paul Brady continuing on with what we've really seen the general theme
10, serves
from
2.
today has been. That's these lopsided scoring outputs.
Well, he's hit 2 great serves there. 9 and 10 just bullets.
11, serves 2.
Yeah, you're right. A few of the games have kind of just went, like you said, lopsided. What was it? Dave beat Mondo, was it to 15-2? Similar score in the second, or a bit more?
12, serves 2.
15-5.
Yeah. Yeah, and Emmett had quite a convincing win then in his quarterfinal.
Second
with
serve.
the highest scoring output for a player today, scored 6. 6 points. I mean, it's just.
And what do you think? That's just the. Do you think the top seeds were just that much stronger, or do you think there's a bit of tiredness
13,
in there
serves
as well? And did players have harder rounds beforehand, or?
No, I just think it's a scoring format coupled
Second
with
serve.
just a kind of just a weird mathematical day. Scoring format, of course, you'd score more than 6 if you're going to 21, so you'd see a higher score line. So we haven't really
that's true.
found that mark on these 15-point games that we can hang our hat on and say, well, 6 is actually respectable. That's like getting 15 and going to 21, something like that. I kind of think it just sounds weird to say 6, but it's actually not as bad as it seems. We've seen some very competitive matches, 13-2 here, and Paul just flips it over to the right with a no look. So he has that as well.
He's done a few of them now. I hadn't noticed it. I suppose you've watched so many of his games in the past few months, but
I have seen him do it a lot.
There's 3 or 4 of them already in this quick game to 15.
Second serve.
14-2. I don't know why. That's game. 15-2, like 13 in a row there just to.
It's unreal. 15-2, and he did it in. Well, we started about 7 after, so it's about 7 minutes. And it's unreal, really, the tempo and the pace that Paul has on this. We're going to take a quick break for Martin Mulkearns. My name is Dave Vincent. We'll have game number 2 coming up right around the corner here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. Stick with us.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Play your part in the circle of life. Take time to be a dad today. Visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Are you getting this, honey?
Oh, prime time. We are rolling.
All right, Mama's gonna bring it home. Mama's gonna bring it home. Okay.
Come on, watch this guy.
Oh, backwards!
Oh, don't. Oh.
It went into Bob and Carol's yard. Oh, no? Okay, here it comes.
Oh, no!
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
All right, let's see what you can do. Let's go.
They might surprise you.
Let's go.
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's 1 every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting. So why would you do it while driving? Leave risky driving to the professionals. Stop the texts, and together we can stop the wrecks.
as we're stepping
David
back
Fink to
in
serve.
here, game number 2. Dave Fink serving here
0 serve 0.
at 5:19 and a half Pacific time. Actually,
It's a short ball.
4:19 p.m. Pacific. We have
Second
so
serve.
many different time zones.
Yeah.
Martin, you're
It's
it's
kind
like
of
1 o'clock in the morning back home.
8 hours ahead, yeah. That's just an unbelievable kill. I feel like he's
0 serve 0.
beating players by more than ever this year. He's hardly given away any points in any game. I know Emmett in Houston, but is that the best, like,
Point.
in the last 2 or 3 tournaments?
Yeah,
Has
you know,
anyone really
one
done any
serve
better than
zero.
him?
No, it's something that's I can just feel it with Paul, that it's like he has this big monkey off his back for some reason. I mean, I don't know what it is, but he's
Right
so
out.
much more relaxed, and he used to be so intense, and you know, I had this great
0
story to
serves
tell
1.
off the air, but I remember in Dallas a few years ago, I mean many years ago, Paul Brady was there, and he went into what he thought was like a private room that I was just on the computer around the corner. You know, you say like a hotel business room, and he went in there and he had his headphones on, and he was watching, well, he was himself in the mirror pumping himself up, and he was listening to
1 serve 0.
Thunderstruck from AC/DC,
Oh,
and he was talking to himself, but
bad.
inside
about
you can
that.
see he was like yelling at himself, and then he went on the
1
court.
serves
And,
1.
you know, I think he got his heart rate up, but he went on the court and
Short
didn't
ball.
like if I heard that music, I'd go out there and just, you know, overcorrect
serve.
myself and fumble on my feet because I was so energized to play.
Pumped,
But
yeah.
he was able to talk to the ref and greet the other guy and then warm up, and then he went in there and got this thing where he was like yelling at himself, and I thought,
Point.
this guy is nuts. I mean, really crazy, but
Okay.
somehow able to control it, and
Yeah.
I don't see him doing those
2
things
serves 1.
anymore. I see him hanging out and talking to people and
I suppose it's
waving and
yeah.
fixing our camera when the ball hits it, and you know, like it's not
Yeah.
that same guy. But the
suppose-
results are better.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems to be in there kind of, he looks so relaxed, as you're saying. I wouldn't know him. I'm
Point.
kind of only playing against him, against the likes of Paul, or at senior and pro tournaments the last two maybe 3 years.
3
you
serves
know, I
1.
mightn't have seen him when he was, as you were describing there, but he definitely seems very relaxed. Oh, what a kill.
Side out.
And Dave even complimenting him there on that shot. Off-handed,
1 serves 3.
left-hand flat kill.
Not much you could do besides compliment.
This looks like a setup as well. Oh no,
Side out.
took an unexpected bounce there. The ball went.
3 serves 1.
Dave's actually good start here for Dave. 3-1. Good serve. Point.
4 serves 1.
Dave's mixing up the serves left and right. Great. That's up. I thought it stayed. Oh,
Dave should get this. Does flip it back up to almost a perfect spot, but it clips, and Paul's going to put it down. Dave digs it out again. Right down
there's
the
a
middle.
setup.
Point.
That's gutsy right there. You pop it right in front of Paul Brady, but as Mondo Ortiz said, this is what I do. I mean, this is my shot. Why wouldn't I
5
take
serves
that?
1.
Yeah.
You and I might want to slide that down the left wall
Just go
for a little
straight.
extra security, like buying insurance on your own shot, and then Paul does that little flip fist. Is that with a fist?
It was hard to tell there, but he took it real high. It was kind of something Sean would do.
Oh, sorry.
5-1. You know, this is as good as anyone's been doing this weekend.
1 serves 5.
It'll be interesting to see what happens next here now. This is a chance for Dave. Kill.
Paul plays it perfect. I mean, look at that anticipation
Good
for
shot.
Paul. Can't do
Good
anything
shot.
with that, though.
Score is 5 serves 1. Coming in.
I actually felt I've played Dave 2 or 3
Short
times.
ball.
I feel like he actually does have quite a good serve. You know, it's not going as hard as Paul's, but when he hits it, I don't see him hitting it down the
Second
right
serve.
that much, but he's been hitting quite a few good ones there today, but he has a great serve down the left. It just kind of straightens out, bit of natural goes straight into the corner.
Paul has a good setup here, plants his feet, just strokes
Oh.
that ball, hits the perfect
Too
sidewall on a
almost.
skinny
V?
A
Is
skinny
that it?
V. I
Is
mean,
that what it is?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
1 serving 5.
He
Or is
hits
that kind of an
everything
inside out? No?
Yeah, he hits it so hard. It definitely is inside out.
Dave's going for it a bit more in this game. You know, he's going for his shots. He needs to keep doing that, I think. Good get.
Might have overhit that just enough. Paul flips it up.
This is it. Down the left. Oh. Good shot.
Dave had his opportunities there. Now he's going to ask for the towel.
5 to. What's that? That's a point to Paul. 2 serve and 5.
That was so fast there. Referee doesn't remember when Dave slid down on one knee. As they're questioning why you asked for a towel, but you know it does get wet there.
The courts are, well, I know I find them warmer anyway because we're used to. Well, now some of the courts are, obviously we have some very good facilities as well, but you know, a lot of courts that we train in are like ice boxes. I won't name any particular clubs, but I've played games where the 2 players are still wearing 3 layers after the 2 games. So you know, and then you go in here and you're just, the sweat is dripping off you before the game even starts.
Point.
Instead of hugging, you guys rub your noses together. It's that
That's
cold.
A point.
Dave's
I thought the
not
ball was
happy.
good. Score is 3, serving 5.
Dave is asking for a replay here. I don't know what it is that he's replaying. So
You want us to replay? Okay, he wants us to replay on the serve.
what are we looking for, though?
Good.
I just don't believe you can replay a slide. Are we replaying a short ball?
For a short?
Well, what are we replaying?
He wants to know if it's short or not.
No.
You can come and look. Come and look. We'll have the referee make
I
the
saw
decision.
good.
Let the referee make this decision. I see it as inconclusive, but it looks like it could be on the line. Let's watch it. Referee's in the booth.
Inconclusive.
But let's go back here in slow-mo, and you can see it as it hits the line right about where my finger is at. That's
a good ball.
It's either good or bad. I don't know how anybody would know.
Well, it's going to be one or the other, I guess. It is so hard to tell. Is that just over the line, or is it after clipping it?
Yeah, I'd say it's inconclusive, totally inconclusive.
Inconclusive.
But that's not my call. I think the referee's
the
going to
referee's
make
call will probably stand, so he sees it as
The serve was
good.
good.
Yeah. You know, I think kind of, you know,
Resuming play.
there's no
Score
harm
is
in asking
3,
for it. You know, it
serving
was
5.
very close, but, you know, it gives him a bit of a breather as well, if nothing else.
Well, you want the right call to be made. So.
Well, you do want the right call to be made, and it was close. Chance here for Dave. Good pass. Great pass and shot. It was 5-1.
5, serving 3.
And Paul does what he does. He just starts pecking away, and look at that nice
The point.
serve there from Dave Fink. Now,
We might have another instant replay here.
Both agree.
Oh, both agree. Good serve.
No,
The
it looked
point is 6, serving 3.
Yeah, it looked like it was clearly over. See, the appeals are free, and there's another one, 7-3 now.
That's kind of one of those off-balance hip height shots.
7, serving 3.
7-3.
Just one short.
Bit of
Second serve.
emotion there from Dave. See what Paul does at this one. Flip it around. Oh, great shot. Good get. Another chance for Dave. Paul gets it. Did he miss that? Yeah.
The point.
Now 8-3.
This is. I'm surprised. You know. Will we see a timeout? Will Paul call timeouts? Is
8, serving 3.
I know he's rarely behind, so you don't see it that often. But Dave's actually serving quite well.
Last time we saw Paul Brady call a timeout, I think it was like 2003.
Side out.
Oh.
3, serving 8.
Yeah, it is a while.
It's been a while since he's called one.
Short, I
The
thought.
short ball.
Yeah, I thought it was from here now, but it is going so
They
fast.
both agree. Second serve.
That's a nasty serve. Yeah, he has it. Great shot. He controls the middle so well, you know, Paul. Any of those balls that stay inside the short line instead of conceding the middle, he's very good to just stay there and
second serve.
control it and finish the rallies. you know, if he doesn't kill it, he usually hits it so hard down one of the sides, he's going to win on either the pass shot or the next one.
Point.
There's another flat kill. Dave.
5, serving 8.
I know Dave kind of, you know, he does. Oh.
Point.
Wow.
A bit of a disguise there.
I mean, just
It
as
went right.
Paul was starting to be pushed
Timeout,
away by Dave.
30 seconds.
Is it a jersey change?
No, 30-second timeout. Let's go to Kara Mack, who is courtside right now. Kara.
Hey guys, yeah, we talked to Gary before when Emmett was playing. We're going to talk to him a little bit now about David Fink because you know him pretty well. He came out here after this first game and he was talking about how much his finger hurt. But right now he's playing really well. What are you thinking? What did you tell him?
Well, he is playing really well. What I told him was to hit his shots, to hit, not to try to fool Brady, you know, because you're not going to fool him. You're just going to make a mistake. So just hit good shots and don't try to trick Brady. I also told him that, look, every shot that he needs to win, he's hit 1,000 times, which is true. He just has to do it under pressure.
Very true. These are two guys who don't call timeouts. Dave did call this timeout. What do you think he's telling himself right now to refresh himself?
Play. Score 6,
I think he just needed a breather. He didn't like that. He got fooled on that last serve, and he just wanted to take a minute to collect himself.
Thanks, Gary. Let's see how this plays out. Back to you guys.
Thank you.
7, serving 8.
Absolutely. Another ace serve. That's 2 ace serves in a row. But I think he was right there, you know, in what he said. You could notice at the start of this game, you know, Dave obviously beaten at 2-2 in the first, ended up losing 15-2, but it seems like he listened to that advice and did just go for his shots so far in this game. But it looks like Paul's definitely been in control the last few rallies.
Over as a contact.
Ooh, strange. Paul had...
He's not going to be happy with that.
No, Dave's not going to let this happen. He's going to give the point to Paul.
He kind of get out of the way. I'm playing over ball.
Well, no.
Dave,
see, now
Dave
the referee's going against what Paul said.
He
Dave
wants
said.
to gift you the point. So 8, serving 8.
Well,
okay, a gift. Well, it's been
I don't know. Paul did not put that in the right spot, even though there was contact and all that. I mean,
I thought Dave could have definitely got that.
Oh,
He
yeah.
hit it off the back wall or something.
Easy. Left hand off the back wall, flying back. But, you know, sometimes you're so
Side
frustrated
out.
with yourself. You say, I don't even deserve it, even if I had a chance to get to it. That's the way I look at it. But I know this is a different world.
He's kind of like, I should have killed that ball
yeah,
beforehand.
no, yeah, I don't care.
Over.
Oh, it always happens. You know, you call over, then he dives or he throws his hand at it and it rolls out, and you're like,
right.
8, serving 8.
Classic. Dave has him pinned on the left. Good
Point.
kill. It'll be interesting here now. 9-8.
9, serving 8.
9-8. That's another good serve. He has a chance here off the back wall again. Kind of stuck to the wall on him though. Handcuffed. He has him down the ground.
Paul gets every one of those? Are you serious?
Did he get that?
The side out.
How does Paul do that?
Was that like one of those Dave Chapman back of the hand?
I guess, but I thought the second one bounced twice, but Paul, nobody's really saying anything. And
I think Dave did as well. I think he kind of stopped, but, you know, Paul, I think he just got that, you know, with that Dave Chapman kind of back of the hand.
yeah, that was unreal from Paul. But obviously real.
It's kind of like how I felt that way with Emmett yesterday as well. You think you've killed the ball, and next thing Emmett's like the only person, I think, maybe Sean does it as well. He actually takes a full swing on the re-kill. Like when you kill the ball, you know, some people try paddle it in or something because it's coming fast. He actually takes a full swing and,
Yeah, that's
just
ridiculous.
rolls it flat then.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's an amazing shot there from Paul Brady. Fade away.
There'll be a few for the Showtime reel. 9-9. Oh, I think three out of Paul's last
10, serving
4
9.
points have been ace serves.
Paul finally takes the lead here.
This is the setup, surely. Yeah.
Point.
Dave not happy with himself.
11, serving 9.
I thought it was just a good serve there from Paul. You know, sometimes you can't, you know, sometimes it's just good play by the other player and you can't do anything about it. This is another, jeez.
Dave's able to flip that ball out. Paul goes to the corner. Dave can't get up to it, and he scores another point.
But did you see there, like, you know, if anyone else hit that shot, you know, it wasn't a great shot, but it was coming so fast.
Timeout.
There is a timeout
1
from
minute.
Dave.
I almost have to say, you know, that
mean-
timeout probably could have happened
At
when
9.
Paul scored 9 and tied him up, but it didn't. Finally, it took place here. Dave's really talking to himself and yelling at himself as he walks out of the court here, but now he's yelling at the referee. Really should be yelling at himself for not taking those timeouts earlier, just to break the momentum, regardless of how he felt.
I felt, you know, earlier in the game when Dave was actually winning, you know, he was more composed. There was no emotion, you know, and he went 8-3 up. I know he seems like, you know, you know, a lot of the time at home or
40
you know
seconds.
what you'd hear coaches saying, you know, keep calm. And
Time
if you hear him shouting at himself and stuff, you know, he's starting to panic or worry or something. But
not with Dave.
I think Dave's like the one player who actually can shout at himself and then play better for the next few rallies. But
yeah, absolutely.
He'll need to play well now to come back from this. He has a chance here.
Down
though.
ball.
So he's in. Good call by Paul. Fair play.
9 serving 12.
Short, I thought. I think there could be an appeal here.
Paul down to one knee like that, just torques his whole body, goes over the top, misses it. No short, no appeal.
No appeal.
Paul looking at the ball here.
It is hard to tell.
10 serving 12.
They're so close. That's another good serve. Good shot. Is this a chance here? He'll finish it, you know.
I can see why Dave's upset. I mean,
he did have a chance there, you know, to finish that rally, and it'd be 11-12, but when he didn't, Paul finished it off.
12 serving 10.
But they are disheartening, them rallies, you know, when you do have the chance and you're, you know, you had a back wall set up or an opportunity, and then it just doesn't stay down for you.
13
especially when it's something
10.
you've executed so many times in your life, it's almost, you know, easy to do, and you just mess it up. Like that return right there from Dave, not great. Paul dives down to get that ball to the right and scores his 14th point. Boy,
he has had some great, you know, creative shots, you know, where you just can't do what, you know, when the feet aren't set, you can't do what you'd like to do, and he's hit some, as you said, maybe that he didn't do them as much before. This could be game. Bit hard.
It's an over ball. Check the ball, please. Match point, serving 10.
Left here.
Oh, look at that ball just sort of slide away. Paul can't get to that one, and it's a side out.
Side out.
Just a slight misjudgment on that
10
one.
serving 14.
It was a very good serve, though. Oh.
Side
really,
out.
like, to get that to come down the wall
Match
there,
point,
stuck to it.
serving
You know,
10.
he meant it as well. There's a chance for Dave.
Big setup. Wow.
Nice shot.
That's with the offhand.
I suppose, you know, that's what he felt. You know, he visualized that shot, you know, at 10-12 there when he could have went to, when he might have been 11.
Serving 14.
That's kind of what you're saying. You know you can do it, and then it just doesn't happen.
Against me, it does happen, though.
Yeah.
But, you know, Paul just adds this little wrinkle to it in your brain.
Side out.
There's a second
14, serving
third
10.
time serving. He's taking his time on this one. Good serve, not a bad return.
That's game.
Flat kill to finish. 15-10.
Well, I mean, not much else you could say there. Paul Brady, you know, did it again, but I have to give Dave Fink a lot of credit here. He held tough. He played really strong.
Well, I think the same. You know, I thought, you know, he did really well there. You know, when he won points, it was good play by him. But, you know, all of Paul's 15 were all good shots by him. Maybe one or two, Dave might have had chances to win those rallies. But for the most part, you know, it was just good play by Paul that won those rallies. Dave didn't actually play badly, you know, and he definitely in the second game played as good as I've seen him play in a long time, I thought, for parts of that second game.
I was really impressed. And, you know, it was a strong play, but it also proves that, you know, with your good play, you can take leads against Paul. It's not that Paul is so invincible that he's just blowing everybody away. You saw that Dave was up 9-3. I mean, it wasn't all on luck. It wasn't because Paul was making hand errors. Dave was executing shots, got Paul to kind of go defense there, and Dave capitalized and jumped out to that 9-3 lead. And I mean, it proves that there is a system. You can score points, and we saw it happen. You just have to be consistent with how you're doing this, and Paul has to be consistent at how he's returning some of your.
But as well, like, you know, credit where credit was due there. You know, 9-3 up was great handball, but you know, psychologically, a game to 15 and you're 9-3 behind. You know, to come back from that and actually to win it 15-10 when you think, you know, 12 points to 1 after that.
Yeah.
You know, and to come back from that where you're actually behind, you know, if go for the shots which Paul was going for and miss when you're 9-3 down, you're giving him extra points, and it's obviously 15's a lot closer than 21.
Let's go quickly back to Kara, who is courtside here at the Olympic Club in San Francisco. Kara has Paul Brady.
Yeah, I have Paul Brady here. Congratulations on a great match. Now headed to the finals yet again. What was your strategy coming in and playing Fink?
I suppose I was just trying to just play my own game, really, and just I've been playing good so far, so to keep it going. I got a bad start to the second game, so I got to watch that for tomorrow, but I'm glad that I got a test like that. I haven't been tested so far, so I feel good coming to the final.
Yeah, you have been taking down guys pretty easily today, especially, and then taking on Fink that second game. He was up 5-1. What were you thinking at that point?
Yeah, I just kept thinking, I know I'm capable of, you know, even if I'm 8 or 9 points behind, I'm still capable of, I feel confident I can come back. So I just tried to stay relaxed. I got a few lucky shots, so you got to depend on a bit of luck. So I suppose you make your own luck. So I just kept playing away, and I felt confident I'd come back and catch him eventually. So I just try to stay relaxed.
As a player, how is your game different today than it was 5 years ago?
I suppose I feel a bit more relaxed now than I used to be. I used to be a lot more tense, so I've relaxed a lot more, and you know, I don't have anything to prove, so I'm just trying to prove things to myself. So I don't feel any outside pressure. It's just you know, just myself. I want to keep trying to win and keep trying to perform to my best ability.
So tomorrow it's either going to be Luis Moreno or Emmett Peixoto. Are you going to have a different strategy coming in no matter who it is there?
I suppose you keep your opponent in mind, but generally I just concentrate on getting my own game right. There's some things there I need to tweak before tomorrow. It's always difficult playing a left-hander, so I'm going to be playing a right-hander tomorrow, so it makes it easier. So I'm just looking forward to it and just get myself recovered now and get ready for tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Paul. Best of luck tomorrow. Talk to you guys.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
He seemed to touch on nearly everything we said there in the last few minutes. You know, the psychological part. You know, he mentioned there at 9-3 behind, he still feels like he can always win, which is you know, I suppose you have to have that mentality to be as good as he is.
Or
and,
you gain that mentality because of how good he is. You have to think that a lot of the stuff he hasn't really had to think about. It's just coming natural to him. I mean, he just knows that I don't really lose, so you know, I don't. Why would I feel nervous here? This is.
Yeah, but even as you, everything, you know, that we've said, you know, even the monkey off the back, as you were saying earlier, you know, he even alluded to it himself there, that he just feels relaxed, you know, he doesn't feel any outside pressure. It's all, you know, he feels comfortable within himself, and he's only trying to prove these wins to himself that he can still do it, and he's doing it fairly convincingly, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, the one thing I can say, though, and it's in defense of all of the players out there that are just trying to reach this Paul Brady platform that he's put himself on. We've built him up so much, and really it's because of him building himself up. He's just winning everything. What else can you do naturally? You have to say, you know, he's the best until somebody can beat him. But he has made everything look so easy until Dave Fink started doing some things right, and it wasn't what Paul was doing wrong. Dave was pushing him, making Paul hit these defensive shots that were just kind of out of character for Paul, and Dave was then closing him out. Yeah, some of them were really high difficult type shots, but they were executed the way that we know Dave can. So therefore, they're in Dave's wheelhouse. They may not be in mine, but they're definitely in his. So he had this mechanism that was definitely working, and I was impressed with it. I think it really does send a message to some of those other handball players, and certainly I know you're sitting there going, wait a second, you know, 9-3 is a pretty darn good lead against Paul Brady going to 15. Now you start feeling like you've got something. You could build some confidence. You can start your own legacy. I mean, I looked at it like, okay, there's a little kink, you know, a dent that is going up in that statue that they're constructing out front in his name, and I can see that maybe somebody can build on this. I mean, he even said it himself there at the interview. He showed me some things, and now I need to, I'm glad this happened, because now I know that this is going to be brought on tomorrow when I play in the finals. So, he's going to build on what Dave did to him here by scoring 10 in that second game.
Yeah, and I think he will be delighted with that. It's sometimes if you go into a final with pure blowouts the whole way, and then you play someone who's playing really well on the other side, you haven't got into that. You haven't went into whatever 4th to 5th. You haven't went from 4th to 5th. You're top gear that weekend, and I think having been pushed there today and being forced to pull out, his best handball to come back and win, I think it will stand to him tomorrow, and I think you probably will see the best from him tomorrow now.
Well, Paul Brady, again, advances to the finals, and he's going to be on this live broadcast tomorrow, Sunday, from San Francisco, the Olympic Club, and we're definitely going to broadcast that one. And we don't know who he's going to play yet. That big match is coming up next between Luis Moreno and Emmett Peixoto, and that's going to be a fun one to watch, because we know that Peixoto had a bad back. We know that that Luis hasn't been training like he normally has, even though he's ranked number 2. And so it's one of those, which one's going to weigh itself out. We saw Peixoto play pretty inspired ball. You were in that match with him when his back seized up, and
well, I suppose if it was earlier in the game, and maybe when I was 5-1 up, or at another point when that he might have been behind, that he needed a break. If he did it then, you might be like, well, is he injured or isn't he? But he had hit 3 great serves, to go from 11-11, I think, to 14-11 up, and whatever way he twisted on that, final one, he obviously must have hurt himself. There'd be no reason. There would be no reason to go down, I feel, unless you were injured. So, I hope he's okay to play this game. That he seemed fine.
Yeah,
there didn't seem to be any problems there earlier against Daniel. Now I noticed he did spare himself by lob serving, straight lob, which worked in that game. I don't know if that will work as well against Luis.
I think it does work well.
Will
I
it?
mean, yeah, I'm a different player, obviously, than anybody else here, but I've maybe played Luis more than anybody in the last 2 years in practice, and I believe the way to score off Luis is that lob serve. So
keep him up high,
Yeah, absolutely. You can't kill the ball when you're doing it up there, but with me, and my power serve is different than you and yours. So I'm not saying it's the wrong thing, but for me personally, I think this game of slowing the ball down is what works. I mean, you saw the lifetime record that Alan Garner has against Luis Moreno is 15-2, 15-3, and he does it with lob serves, that little underhand Marco Chavez.
Yeah, from the middle.
That's so I started developing that serve just because of that, and found out that you can score points.
Yeah, it's because it kind of looks like from outside you're like, that's a nothing serve, like that. But what can you do? It's kind of shoulder height, and what you really only have, you can kind of hit it around the walls, or kind of go for a 2-wall pass, which are kind of shoulder height, or you can just go to the roof. But you're not really going to go for a kill from up there from 38 feet unless it rolls flat. Like, how many times are you going to do that?
Right. No, I mean, and I think someone like Emmett would take the chance on that. We'll see. This could be a great contrast between Emmett Peixoto, who we thought was injured, and today Emmett didn't really look injured, but then he minimized what he needed to do, but he did it really well. So, and then maybe a backpedaling Luis Moreno, who lost kind of early in his last pro stop. We'll find out. For Martin Mulkerns, who's helping us out here with this broadcast, my name is Dave Vincent. We have that men's semifinals, the bottom bracket, Luis Moreno and Emmett Peixoto. Emmett is a club pro here at the Olympic Club in San Francisco. Luis Moreno, number 2 ranked on the WPH Race Rate Tour. We'll find out how this clash goes and who will be playing Paul Brady tomorrow for the men's finals. We'll have that one coming up in just a bit. Stay here at ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. Stick with us.